Brianna parked her car in front of the garage. She picked up the file from the seat and locked her car door shut. The skies were gray and cloudy, and the atmosphere was cool today in Los Angeles. Brianna looked up at the sky. She noticed a flicker of light, soon followed by a loud boom of thunder. Brianna paced in front of the house, organizing the papers in the file. Suddenly, it started to rain quite heavily. Brianna ran to the porch and stood under the patio cover. The rain was still splattering onto her, but at least the file was safe from the rain now. Brianna peered at the house. She was a little uncomfortable and a little scared to go inside all by herself. Brianna was supposed to arrive here at 7. She checked her wristwatch. She was a little early. It was 6:50. Brianna tapped her feet and waited. It was 3 minutes before 7 when Professor Connery arrived. He saw Brianna and quickly ran to the porch in the rain. "Brianna, you had a spare key. How long have you been waiting out here in the rain? Why didn't you go inside?" Brianna gave an awkward laugh. "I was just, Professor Connery chuckled. "I understand. You were scared to go inside my house, weren't you? It's all right. Come on, let's go inside. Looks like the rain is getting worse." Professor Connery unlocked the door and let Brianna in. Brianna had become wet in the rain. She followed Professor Connery to his study. He hung up his coat and placed his bag on the table. Brianna put down the file onto the table. "Professor, I brought you the articles you were asking for. I've gathered all the information we need on the topic. They're in this file." "Thank you, Brianna. Why don't you head on to the washroom and get dry? You're drenched." "The weather outside is beautiful. Usually whenever it rains like this, I always have fried chicken with a side of French fries. Why don't we go prepare some for ourselves? After that, I'll look over the papers." Brianna shook her head and smiled. "Okay, Professor." When Brianna returned from the washroom, she heard noises in the kitchen. She went and saw Professor Connery was serving up some food. "Brianna, homemade fried chicken and fries. I hope you enjoy eating spicy wings." "Of course. Who doesn't like fried chicken? Let me help you out." Brianna assisted Professor Connery around the kitchen. She arranged the plates onto a tray to take back to the dining area. As she was pouring out some coffee, Professor Connery asked her, "How's Aaron? I've heard he's been traveling a lot. He's rarely in town anymore." "Oh, you know how he is. Did you see the last show he hosted? The episode was quite entertaining. Surviving out in the wilderness? I didn't expect him to be such an expert. He even caught food and cooked it out there. I was impressed." "Interesting. I have to check that out sometime." Professor Connery and Brianna took the last of the things to the table and sat down. Professor Connery passed over the fries. "Brianna, enjoy yourself. It doesn't rain like this often." "You're right. This is the perfect occasion to hear a story. Please, Professor, why don't you share one of your experiences with me?" "All right, I'll tell you a story. A simple one. This happened some years back at my office. I was on my way to work. When I got to the building, I saw a young woman was waiting for me there. I invited her inside. She looked quite nervous and upset. "I'm Julia Emerson. I've come here with a small request. My boyfriend Andrew Phillips will probably contact you soon on the matter. He's been very stressed about something. It's starting to affect him greatly. Andrew has been seeing his late wife. He's being haunted by her visions. His wife, Evelyn Phillips, passed away a little over 5 years ago. She was suffering from an illness for a long time, which eventually led to her demise. After his wife passed away, Andrew has been with some other woman before he met me, although the relationships with them didn't last long. My boyfriend has never experienced these kind of visions during that time. As a matter of fact, not even during our relationship until very recently. I met Andrew about 3 years ago. We started dating. Our relationship had progressed quite a lot over the years. We were planning to take it to the next step, and a few months ago, actually, Andrew had proposed to me. But it was ever since then he had started to see his late wife. The experiences have made him awfully paranoid. He sees his wife everywhere he goes. Andrew has started to believe that if we get married, something terrible might happen to me. He's called off the engagement due to this fear. I don't know how to explain it to him. Julia, what I'm about to say may seem a little depressing, but perhaps this may be the reason. Sometimes men get cold-feeted. They get intimidated by the idea of settling down. Maybe Andrew is using this as an excuse. He's having second thoughts about the proposal. Maybe he doesn't want to get married. No, Professor, there is something more to this. When he first told me, I assumed the exact same thing. I was heartbroken. I thought he wanted to break off our relationship. But over the days I've been living with him, I've seen unusual things that have led me to believe there is truly something frightening Andrew. It's like Andrew is never able to focus anymore. He's not actually present. He's always staring at something. Sometimes it's like he's speaking to himself. There are many nights when Andrew suddenly wakes up from the deepest sleep, anxious and trembling. It has affected his health. He's developed dark circles under his eyes from lack of sleep, and he's having trouble concentrating. Andrew was never like this. He's been making silly mistakes even at his workplace. This can't be an act. It can't be an excuse. I can see the fear in his eyes. Professor, please, don't turn down my request. If you would please help me solve this mystery. If Andrew is truly seeing his wife, having these haunting visions, do they have any meaning? If Andrew and I really do get married, is something bad going to happen to me? Okay, Julia, I'll see what I can do. Thank you, Professor. I knew I could depend on you for an answer. Thank you for your help. But yes, one more thing. Please don't tell my boyfriend I was here. No problem. If that is what you wish, your visit will be kept confidential. The young woman left that day, and as she said, her boyfriend, Andrew Phillips, called me a few days later. He invited me to his home for dinner. Professor Connery, I'm Andrew Phillips. I was calling to know if you could spare me some time from your busy schedule. There was something important I'd like to discuss with you, something that I've been really worried about. I need your help. Go on, Mr. Phillips. I'm actually out of the office at the moment. I'm not busy with work. How can I help you? Professor, I'd actually like you to join me for dinner at my house tomorrow evening. Perhaps we can discuss the matter then. I'll have to check my schedule. I suppose I have Friday night free. Thank you, Professor. If you would give me the permission, I would like to pick you up. I accepted Andrew's invitation, and on the next Friday night, Andrew came to my office to pick me up. His house was located a little far. It was an hour-long drive across town. While we were driving there, I got to know a little about his life. He told me about his late wife and his current girlfriend. I was married, but my wife, Evelyn, passed away. It's been very difficult all these years, but I've been lucky enough to find myself a very caring and loving girlfriend. I've been intending on getting married again. My girlfriend's name is Julia. She's actually waiting for us at the house. When I got to the house, Andrew escorted me to the drawing room. His girlfriend was in the kitchen, so he went to call her. Professor Connery, I'd like you to meet my girlfriend, Julia. When I saw the young woman walk up beside Andrew, I was surprised, and more than that, I was confused. This young woman wasn't the same woman that had come to my office earlier that week. I didn't say anything at the moment. We conversed over this and that before dinner was served. It was when I reached the dining room that I noticed a few pictures on the cupboard of the woman that had come to my office. I inquired about the woman in the picture. These are pictures of my late wife, Evelyn. Oh, I see. The dinner was delightful, and Andrew shared his problems with me. His girlfriend Julia was a polite young woman. She too seemed to be troubled by the anxiety that Andrew was going through. When dinner was over, Andrew and I had gone out to the balcony for some fresh air. "Professor Connery, I want to start a new life with Julia, but I don't know if our relationship is going to end up being a curse for her. Perhaps these visions are a warning." There was much I could have told Andrew if it were not for the word I gave Evelyn. "Andrew, don't worry. Everything is fine. Your wife's spirit has been trying to communicate with you. Julia is a nice young woman. Evelyn is happy to see that you've found someone that cares for you. These visions are only to assure you that she wants you to move on. She wants you to be happy again." Andrew and Julia soon got married. Andrew stopped seeing his late wife around him. He stopped having those visions. The couple is now spending a happy life together. They even had a daughter recently. I think I got an email the other day. It was an invitation to her first birthday. I'll have to check that out before it's too late. "Professor, are you saying Andrew's late wife's spirit came to your office for help? And you didn't even realize it was not a person, it was a spirit?" "No, I did not. I guess you guys give me more credit than I deserve." Professor Connery and Brianna cleaned up the table and went to the study. Brianna picked up her bag and handed the file to Professor Connery again. "All right, Professor Connery, I should be getting home. Here is the file on the case of dual identity." "Great, just what I needed." Brianna left the house. It was drizzling now. She took out the keys to her car and was unlocking her car door when she heard another car in the driveway. She turned and looked at Professor Connery step out of the car. Brianna trembled in shock. "Professor, you just now arrived? But I kept the file inside." Professor Connery chuckled. "Sorry, Brianna. The rain held me up on the way. You went inside my house. I hope you didn't experience anything spooky." Brianna watched Professor Connery with big, wide eyes. He unlocked his front door. Smells like fried chicken. I sure hope you kept some for me as well." Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.